computer animation. Let's just take a look at what happened yesterday early in the morning. The helicopter had taken off from Hyderabad. It was on its way. To Chittor when something went terribly wrong. It went into bad weather near Atmakaru, near the Kurnool area. It deviated east. Now that was something which was not part of its normal flight plan. It deviated east, and then there was this catastrophic incident, that crash taking place somewhere in the Atmakaru region. Alright, what happened immediately after that? Well, for starters, the choppers couldn't land over there. Commandos used ropes to slither down to that area. There were no helicopters which were actually able to land. This was a process that took a lot of time. Now, as you can see, it's by winching up those bodies, the remains of those bodies, and that's a process that took some time for the commandos to actually do. It was once that was over, it took time to actually recover all those 5 bodies, that they were flown back to Kurnool. It was in Kurnool that the post-mortem took place, and these bodies were then flown to Hyderabad late in the evening. In all of this, there are a couple of key questions which need to be answered. We'll be trying to get those answers for you. Firstly, why did the emergency locator transmitter on board that helicopter not work? Now, all of these helicopters are equipped with this device which ensures that in the event of a hard landing or of a crash, there is that signal which is sent up, and that signal is picked up by satellites. That did not work. Why was the pilot flying in so low in terrain which he should have known was hilly terrain? Both these pilots, remember, extremely experienced. And why did the pilot not abort his flight despite the presence of a weather radar on board his helicopter? Well, we're going to try and bring you more details on all of that. But the key issue here is the search operations themselves. We've got many more details on how this was conducted. We have the story.
The first confirmation at 8:30 a.m. A military chopper spotting the wreckage and dropping this piece of paper with the coordinates for the ground crew to get to the area.
We have located the helicopter. It is on top of a hill at a distance of 40 nautical miles east of Kurnool.
The 24-hour search that went on all night led to here, the Rudrakot hill, around 10 kilometers from Atmakur.
We are deep inside the Nallamala forest. We've already driven through about 2 kilometers, and we have to drive another 8 kilometers to reach Rudrakot. That's a place where the chopper of this chief minister has been sighted. As you can see, this is a rivulet we have to cross, and you can see a lot of excited and probably also worried villagers who live in the villages in this area going through this rivulet to reach Rudrakot, which will definitely take another hour or so.
At the Air Force Command Center at Kurnool, the search operations intensify. But it's a difficult mission. The mangled wreckage has been sighted in a remote area of the Nallamala forest, with thick jungles and bad weather making it impossible to land there. Finally, ground and air teams reach the spot. What they find is everyone's worst nightmare. The chopper was in bits and pieces except for the tailpiece. Commandos initially located 3 bodies, later the 4th and 5th one, since it was extremely hostile terrain.
The bodies are charred and in a state of getting into decomposition.
The bodies brought back to Kurnool by the Air Force. Everything was used, from Sukhoi 30 fighter jets with special radar capabilities, thermal imaging and night detection capabilities, ISRO's low-flying aircraft, ground troops and the latest high-tech boats. Perhaps the largest search operation in recent times.
The Chief Minister's death just months after a brilliant victory in the state has just taken everyone by shock.
Well, in Andhra Pradesh, his death has united his supporters and his political rivals. The state is observing 2 days of mourning. These pictures were pictures that we saw sometime back recorded in Hyderabad. The body of Rajshekar Reddy was brought into Hyderabad late in the evening, and a casket was placed over there. It's in his camp office that the body has been placed. It will be placed over there for a couple of hours tomorrow as well. The final rites will not be taking place in Hyderabad. The body will be moved to his hometown in the Kadapa area. Well, the Congress President Sonia Gandhi paid an emotional tribute to one of the party's most successful chief ministers, describing how he'd steered the party to victory in Andhra Pradesh despite the odds.
Chief ministers from other states also joined her in eulogizing YSR.
For us, it is a huge loss. It is a loss for the party. It is a loss for all of us, his colleague, for the state of Andhra Pradesh and for the country. His historic Padyatra, his campaign of 2004 that brought our party back to power after almost 10 long years.
Our party has lost an outstanding leader. Andhra Pradesh has lost its chief minister who was marked by his dynamism.
A party grieving the loss of one of their tallest leaders who ensured the Congress's presence in the south. But the former politician, doctor, is being remembered with respect and affection across the political spectrum.
And it is an irreparable loss not only for Andhra Pradesh but for whole country. I extend my heartfelt sympathies to the bereaved family.
और ये बहुत दुखद बात है। अब कांग्रेस पार्टी के लिए तो नुकसान रही है, देश के लिए भी एक बड़ी नुकसानी है।
Across the nation, a sense of loss. Opponents remembering a man who didn't lose a single election in the last 30 years. Non-Congress states like Punjab and Karnataka declared state mourning.
The chief minister was not only admired in his own state but by many others all over our country.
The man always trying to solve people's problems was again on a mission, going to a village for a surprise visit. Sadly for the Kadapa tiger, it was to be his last.
Lots of mourners have turned up at the camp office where the body of YSR has been kept. There you see on your screen, that's Jagan Mohan Reddy, his son. Also, one of the people said to be the contender for the chief minister's post.
ब्रह्मकर्म समाज के कबंधन फलम पूरा ब्रह्ममणि फलम सब राम शांति अतिरेणाधिगच्छति.
Alright, we're going to return now to some footage of the wreckage from the site. Remember this, the helicopter and the wreckage of the helicopter was found shortly after 8 a.m. this morning. That's the first time this wreckage was found. Let's just bring you some of that footage at this juncture. And basically, what you see now is a Dhruv helicopter of the Indian Air Force. It was from here that commandos